Hello and welcome to Wolfquest Ultra Coywolf Challenge. My name is Frosty and today I am excited to be kicking off on the actual challenge that the storyboard that went up on Friday was about. So if you did not watch that, I definitely recommend giving it a watch. I spent quite a bit of time putting that together. And I've had this idea for quite a while now. I just needed to actually get the story for why we're doing this. So just to recap a little bit, our main protagonist is named Ateru, at least that is what she is going by because she did not like her given name. And she is a coy wolf. Now a coy wolf is a creature, I guess, that is half wolf and half coyote. In Ateru's case, her mother was a wolf and her father was a coyote. So as a result, she is neither as large nor as powerful as a normal wolf. And she is not going to have all access to the wolf perks that she may otherwise get as a result. You can't really tell, but this is Ateru here. And she is basically on the smallest settings that we can get. So Ateru has quite a few different challenges to face here. The first is that she is an Ultra Iron Wolf, so that means that she is an Iron Wolf. If she dies, that is it. She gets no second chances. And ultimately, too, she will have -2 in every single stat, which means it's going to be a pain to get anywhere or do anything. Because again, she's not as big or as powerful as other wolves. And she will not be able to take any perks upon leveling or aging up. So that means that we also don't get any of the extra bonuses that wolves may get, like Fun Parent, Elder Authority, none of that. So we are playing with the basis mechanics at a little bit of a disadvantage here. So on top of all of that, because Ateru is a coy wolf, they don't really form natural packs, at least not in the research that I could find. So with that, she is also not going to have a mate, because her mate's not going to want to stick around. And we have to also go with the lowest star mate that we can find. So ideally, we're going to go for a 1-star mate. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but the logic here is that will make the pups a little bit more sickly. And given her legacy, I think it makes sense if her pups are a little bit more sickly. That's kind of the premise for this challenge. This is a little sneak peek into her other family, who I did actually make in the game as well. But real quick, this is just Ateru's coat. She's got the first classic coat. I thought that was the name of that classic coat. This is what her face looks like, and that is her secondary howl. I did try and match that to Coy Wolf audio as best as I could, and I'm honestly not too displeased with the options. She does have a little bit of a torn ear, and everything here is meant to make her look as small and sleek as I could. But again, everything here is -2. She is fully bold, because coyotes are very bold animals. A loner, for the same sort of reasons. And she's more energetic than lazy, because she's gonna have to be. And for her bio, it pretty much just says what I just said, but really quickly anyway. Ateru is a coy wolf, offspring of a wolf and a coyote. As such, she is neither as strong as a wolf, nor as resourceful as a coyote. She does, however, possess a strong tenacity to persevere. She strongly desires the acceptance of full-blooded wolves, which will bring her closer to her beloved mother's legacy. As a coy wolf, however, she will have a lot that she needs to prove, much more than any wolves. Ateru is an Ultra Iron Wolf. She may not take any perks upon aging up. As an added bonus, on account of her legacy, she must take the lowest diversity mate she comes across, and her mate may not remain to tarnish her name with her packs, depending on their personality. Or the older we get, the more we may make exceptions to that, but definitely not this first go. And despite these impossible circumstances, she is determined to carry on the Sunfang legacy. Sunfang Pack is her mother's name for her pack, which was the Lamar Valley Pack. Without any further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump right in with Ateru here. Okay, and this is what we're going to go with for our setup here. We're obviously going to be in Lost River because that's where she feels comfortable. We're looking for a mate who can permanently die. We are in accurate setting because this needs to be as hard as it can possibly be. And we're going to have the town to play around with here. Okay, we're ignoring our little prompts there because theoretically this is where we grew up, so we already know the layout of the land. And we are starting off with looking for some elk to hunt, as per the usual for this game. Okay, so starting off here, we're just on the usual mission to hunt some elk, which in Ateru's case makes sense because she needs to prove to herself that she can hunt the wolf's prey. And we immediately find some deer. But while we do some of this setup stuff, I am going to go ahead and explain at least a little bit about the prologue and why I made some of the choices that I did, and give you a little bit more insight into some of the story here. So the prologue consists of effectively 32 images, which took me way too long to make. The main thing to take away there is that it is the story of Ateru's mother more than Ateru. And that is because Ateru is effectively obsessed with her mother and the power that she sees in wolves, even though she didn't necessarily understand everything that she was seeing or even necessarily recognize that some of what she saw in her mother was probably not her mother's full potential since she was old and declining. Constant sickness and constant injury, the like, is definitely going to do that. But Ateru sees her mother as a figure that took care of her despite overwhelming hardship, and so she is naturally going to respect that grit. So that is why we are more focused on the wolf side of the Coywolf. But that being said, Ateru does still respect that she has a legacy with non-wolves as well. So, kind of as a side mission, if I can help it, is that we're going to try and avoid fighting any other canines or attacking them unprompted. What is this? An antler. That is definitely the first time I've seen a moose one. It'd be cool if we could actually eat those. But kind of going back to my initial thought process there. Ateru is never going to intentionally attack a canine if she can help it. As she stated in her initial prologue there, while others will only look at her and never see that which she is not. So a wolf would look at her and see coyote, a coyote would look at her and see a wolf. Ateru would only ever look at them and see herself, because there is a lot of connections to her and the other Ateru, through herself, through her mother. So she's never going to intentionally attack another canine because she would never want to hurt that which is like her, effectively. So if we can, we're going to avoid attacking canines as much as possible. But that being said, if somebody's attacking the den, they're gonna get bit. It's just, we're not gonna see a random fox and decide to pick a fight with them. That's really all that means, but again, that could really be something I can't stick to, which is why I did not outline that in the actual basis of the rules. So that's kind of a little bit more about Ateru. And there's definitely some more secrets and some more insights to be had about her, but I don't really want to go directly into it right off the bat. But that being said, I have made her mother and her sister in the game, so if we ever wanted to explore what happens to them, especially if Ateru's story ends prematurely because she is an Iron Wolf, and despite the rich lore that I spent a long time making, she could totally just get one shot by a bison right now, and there would be nothing I could do about it. And then that would just be the run. All that being said, we have backups to explore other parts of her story and her legacy if something were to happen a little bit prematurely. But with the premise of the challenge that I made, I truly don't know if this challenge is even going to be possible in the way I'm envisioning, because we'll have a lot stacked up against us just being a single parent or just being an Iron Wolf. Never mind combining those two factors. So we're gonna have to be really patient and really persistent, even more so than usual, since Ateru is a coywolf and has no anything to help out here. So I'll be running along these guys for quite a while, just to wear them down a bit. As I was doing research into this, because I did want to have a good understanding about wolves and coyotes and coy wolves before I decided to make a whole character centering around it, I did find... Hello. Gosh, there is so much going on right here. But there were some choices that I made when it came to depicting coyotes and wolves, and then consequently coy wolves in the story that I crafted. Oh, get off, get off. Yeah, that does not surprise me there. But I think that calf is going to be our target. Coyotes are scavenging animals. They mostly hunt small prey, and they will eat just about anything that comes into their path. If it's not breathing, it is going to be on the menu. And that includes wolves, that includes other coyotes. They have no qualms about eating anything. So when it comes down to a coy wolf starving, I figured that would be an interesting to make a depiction between, you know, a coyote that is willing to eat other coyotes and a coy wolf who is not willing to eat other canines, because wolves, on the other hand of the spectrum, are a lot pickier. They will never eat another canine, and they usually won't even eat another predator at all. Whether or not that's just because nutritional qualities or something else, I don't really know. But wolves will never eat another canine, and I think they may only eat bear, and even then that's kind of rare. And coyotes eat everything, so I figured having that kind of difference in priorities even could be interesting to showcase the difference in the sisters and their priorities, since Ateru prioritizes being a wolf. She would never commit any kind of cannibalism, whereas Ateru's sister, who prioritizes some of the coyote heritage she has, may be more willing to give back to the earth in that same way or reduce waste. So that's kind of why I made that choice. I know it's probably a little bit more shocking material, or a little bit more unsavory material, but that's also nature, and nature is definitely not pretty all of the time. And there's definitely ways they can depict that as being, you know, wasteful versus tasteful, or what have you there. So that's a little bit of choice as to why I did that as well. But that is one elk down. And now that we have eaten the wolf's prey, maybe the ravens will accept us as well. Okay, we'll go a little ways away and sleep. Okay, is there anything of our elk remaining? Oh. I don't think we're gonna mess with that. But yeah, if you have any questions about Ateru or her story, and you haven't checked out the prologue, I definitely recommend doing so, because questions may just be answered, or you may walk away with more. But I think you'll know Ateru a little bit better that way. We're going to tell Ateru's story, and I will explain or narrate as much as is necessary. But we won't really be exploring this directly from Ateru's eyes again unless and until I make a follow-up art story. But that will probably honestly be at the conclusion of her tale, whatever that may look like. I was just about to say maybe I should sleep again because I'm not finding any elk, and then I literally run into elk. Okay, so with that being said, I will see y'all later once we've hopefully caught an elk. And since Ateru is a coywolf, I do think we're going to be mostly focusing on the calves here. Because I honestly don't know how well we're going to hold up against the adults. I think this is the one, but it's getting a little weird with the AI right now. Does not know where to go to keep up or get away from us. Our stamina is so badly pooled. But we still got it even so. We're still good. But now that we have proven ourselves to be a hunter worthy of our wolf heritage, we can potentially woo some of these males, it looks like, are around. I'm gonna go ahead and try and heal up before we find a prospective, though. And again, we are going for the lowest rated male that we can find. So, ideally 1 star. I don't want to do more than 2. But if it gets to be like spring, we still have... Oh, hello. We still haven't found somebody, then we'll, figure out what we can, and I'm also not messing with those. Ow, please don't hurt me. I honestly think I'm gonna go down into the town proper to sleep, because Ateru feels most comfortable surrounded by the buildings, which is not something that most wolves would feel, because wolves are naturally very scared of men because of all of the hunting that man has done to wolves. So I think this will kind of be her test to see who's willing to come to her, meet her at her comfort level in her place, which is here in these gorgeous fiery autumn colors. We're gonna try and also explore, consequently, some of the fun dens and places in Lost River here. Because I honestly didn't do that too much with Wander. I stayed in the creepy clown den, and then we kind of left this whole area. But there is more to see and more to explore, so... Oh, we got dispersal wolves. Okay. And of course we find a 4-star mate in our first pack. An 806M. So look at them. We're a little bit bold and we don't really know how to flirt, so we are going to be doing our best here. I don't really want to immediately go into trial ship with 1003 here, if I'm being totally honest. But as a 2-star, he does have some potential for us still. So I'm not necessarily going to discount him yet. And here you can kind of see a little bit better that we are a little bit smaller than the males are. But sorry fellas, I'm not too sure I'm interested. I'm gonna keep his name as 103M, but I'm also going to designate him as 2-star. Oh, I guess it keeps the number anyway. Okay. In that case, we're gonna do that. I'm really excited to also play with some of these new mechanics, because I've actually not really played Wolfquest in a hot second, which is unfortunate because it is a very calming game for me despite the nature of Wolfquest. And I'm excited to see all the new changes, and look at the trees and the snow. Gosh, I love that. I also do think, just in attribution to our coyote heritage and general weakness as an Iron Wolf, I do think that we are going to be eating a lot of rabbits this game. And definitely a lot of calves once those hit the grass. Ew, I don't think I've been in here. It'd be cool if we could like get up and hit keys on the piano, but I can also totally understand if they wouldn't want us to do that. There's Susur again. He's also not howling at us, so do not know how that feels. But honestly, if they're lurking around here, we may have to go meet the others. But gosh, I can't get over how pretty these trees are with the snow on them. Okay, I got dispersal wolves. I'm hoping they're different. Oh, that's a dog. We're not trying to do that. This poor calf is so confused. I mean, I wouldn't say no to free calf, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there you go, Mom. Lose your baby. Oh, nope. You tricked me. You appropriately psyched me out. Thanks for just abandoning your kid. Okay, well, we've got a snack now. And something tells me that those same two males are going to be knocking at our doorstep in exchange for the food that we have so skillfully provided. But I'm definitely weaker than I'd like to be health-wise, so let's try and see who may be around. Okay, they're far away, so I'm just gonna sleep and hope someone gets a little bit closer. Well, I think I see more bears, so that's cool, but that might be a wolf there. Who are you? Oh, they're both females. Get out of here. I'm assuming this other one's also female if they're running with that pack, yeah. Probably all siblings if they're that close in numbers. Okay, well, I was meant to be... Yep, those are bears. I was meant to be testing the males that came through, but as it turns out, I think I'm going to have to go to them. Okay, I think those are... Yep. There they are. Kane's probably just like, what? You got a 4-star right there. What are you doing? That's not the challenge. I want the achievement too. They can't be the only males on this entire map, can they? I think I'm getting closer to 2 different groups, but it's really hard to tell. Also, this is the fastest that we go, so this is really rough. They consistently sound like they're right there, but they're never over the next bend. Okay, if they're not right in front of me. Hello, you lazy lazies. Calamity pack, both 3-star. Of course you are. Well, you're not worth it. Goodbye. No one's even howling back anymore. Oh, there we go. There is a reason that I did not make it forced to be 1-star, because there is just genuinely every chance it doesn't exist. I honestly think I've seen more 4-star mates than 1-star mates, which, I mean, makes sense. Because 4-star is going to be a little bit more desirable than 1-star usually. But every time I've like even loosely tried this challenge, I've never once seen a 1-star, so we may have to make do with, I think it was 1003. We do not find a 1-star in any of these dispersals. I will go into 1-pack's territory to look, and after that I'm going to accept the fate of the lowest male that we can find. Stranger wolves. I wonder if these dispersals are technically stranger wolves then. No, yeah, I think they're technically stranger wolves. Tumbleweed, 3-star, not... 2 4-star, not a single 1-star. Okay, well, I'll go into 1-pack's territory, because this is everybody I heard howling. And then I'm gonna go back into town, and we are going to settle down with 2-star. I thought the females were supposed to stay in one place and the males are supposed to come to us. So it feels a lot like the males are just waiting for us to find them. Okay, let's see if anybody wants to be friendly towards us. Because we're not going to mess around too much with an established pack. That is definitely not Ateru's goal. There should definitely be wolves up in that 100%. Or close anyway. Yeah, there we go. Oh gosh. I did not want to get ambushed by 4 who have no interest in being friendly with us. Okay then. I'm not gonna howl super close to them, but we are gonna settle down and sleep a little bit before we make our trek all the way back to town. God, that's terrifying. And then we are going to hopefully try and find 2-star again. I do not want to howl so close to them. That might entice them to come beat me up because they are definitely gonna win that fight. That is not a fight I'm willing to pick. Oop, no, let's howl before we sleep. I really do like this new tab though. We can see everybody who we ran into, one of which was the pack leader and the others who were mostly yearlings, so makes sense that they were not very pleased to see us. I was totally expecting to get to the point of pups in this first episode, but at this rate, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised if we can find a male in this episode. So I've been going on for almost an hour, and I do not know how much I can get out. I'm assuming a fair portion of this in my ramblings, but oh boy, I just don't have that much time to record today. Look at what I just found. Let's see if it impresses these males that are right here. Did I recognize you guys? I just want to know who these guys are, if they're even worth my time, ladies. If I can at least distract them from the males, I usually won't go back to flirting, but still. Yes, were you worth it? Well, at least you guys are different, but you're still only 2 stars. But still, we at least do know where they are. You are not worth my effort, sir. My search would bring me all the way out here, only to find out that there's somebody in this mess down here. This better be a worthy male. So I do think Ateru would be appreciative of this area. Okay, got a 2-star, a 4-star. Of course. Are there 2 4-stars? Seriously. Hi guys. I would love to get to know you, however, you're still not quite worth my time. But now that I do know that there's others out here, I'm gonna investigate them because I really want to get that 1-star. The Fable 1-star. So I guess I'll see you guys back at the next males we find. Alright, more males and already 3 stars, so I'm not very hopeful. Oop. Okay, are you all 3-starred? There's another one there and I can't. I think I'm just gonna take this 2-star here. I wish we could find a 1-star, but I've been looking for like an hour now. So we'll have to take what we can get. We can always just say that our pups this year are a little bit healthier because we're a little bit younger, maybe. Let's go ahead and try sniffing his nose. Can maybe get a better look at him that way. He does at least seem to like us. He's very handsome. He seems pretty energetic, which is probably good for pups. But he definitely seems a little bit more reserved, which is good because I could not take pups that were too bold and like ready to run away at the drop of a hat. Just don't know if I could do it. Alright, well, let's take him out for a trial. To be totally blunt, I don't know what qualities Ateru would be looking for in a mate. I think she would want somebody who can match her energies and who is just willing to accept who she is. With a restriction like the diversity, we can't really be super prioritizing exact traits, especially since the male's not going to be sticking around anyway. But that being said, I think she would still be valuing strength and true wolfness, which I don't think that's something that would be very hard to achieve, you know? Let's get away from their pack a little bit so we don't have to run into them and get into any fights. And oh, he's injured. He's injured and hungry, so I guess we'll prioritize hunting first and foremost. Ooh, that's not going to be a good look if that was in fact a coyote or fox. But we're going to go ahead, run down here, sleep a little bit because I'm getting hungry too. Hopefully find elk a little bit closer to the territory I would like to actually set up in. Oh, and there's some deer right there. That is awfully convenient to wake up to. Let's see how he's willing to throw himself into danger. Ow. Well, he is just getting his face absolutely stomped in, so he is definitely a little bit bolder. Which Ateru would appreciate, even if it's boldness to the point of stupidity. Or lack of self-preservation, maybe. Did she just kick her own fawn to death? Well, regardless, can I please eat as well? Before he eats all of it. Holy cow. He was hungry. He is still not full, and I got basically none of that, so that's cool. I honestly don't think Ateru would mind that, because, you know, that's assertiveness. She respects somebody who is hungry and is willing to take food for themselves, even at the detriment of others, because that is all that she's really known. Even if she probably would have appreciated a little bit of a bite of that, or two. We should name 1212, though. He's got a collar, so people would be tracking him. I am still not super sure about the wolf naming convention I was going to go with, to be totally transparent. But I think wolves would be very straightforward with their naming conventions compared to, say, the coyotes, who would have a bit of a richer lore history in the world I've created. So, honestly, his coloring is a little bit closer to a coyote than a Ateru's probably is. So it'd be kind of hilarious if his name was related to coyotes, because that is something that they could share. But I also feel like it'd be a little bit of a slight or a dig in the wolf world to be named after one of the lesser Ateru. After all, wolves reign supreme. Alright, I went ahead and I named him Stag Snap, because that could be like a hunting name he got. Do you not care to interact with me, thank you. The other lore reason why Ateru is on her own is just a notion that, like, you know, wolves don't always form the strong packs that you see. I've done quite a bit of research and reading into wolves, just, again, wanted to make sure I got some things correct. And wolves, while they're known for having a really strong mate bond, they don't always really abide by that. Sure, you'll get your two, like, quote-unquote alphas, or your breeding pair, but that doesn't always mean that they're the actual parents of the pups in the litters. And sometimes the daughters or whatever will also decide that they want to have pups with random males that they encounter, so you know, it's very possible for a male to just wander off, do his thing with a lady, and then not have to deal with the responsibility after the fact. Even though wolves are known for having some of the strongest mate relations, they don't always. I think where it gets exemplary for them is just the fact that they're willing to raise pups from another litter. Like if they come in later or after the fact, they will sometimes just raise another male's pups or another female's pups, and they won't show any like hesitance or weirdness about it like other species might. They're kind of like the great step parents of the animal kingdom, and it kind of makes sense that a male wouldn't really want to settle down with a female that is not pure wolf, while Ateru may view the male as being a prospective long-term partner. Despite how submissive he may be, I don't think he'd be regarding her in the same way, so that's why we have the little caveat that she's gonna be a single parent. And sadly, there's no nice way to do that, so we're just gonna say that he ran off and we never see him again, and who knows what happened to him when it gets to be that time. Though, in all honesty, our affinity is going up so slowly. Alright, well, Tao is back in sight, and he is after the steer. So, definitely strength. Definitely boldness. Which, again, I definitely think Ateru appreciates, even if I don't want to get punched in the face by the steer. Another point that did occur to me, too, is that I don't know if this is actually true, but I feel like it's something I've noticed, that when you're trying to find a mate, it feels like if you're doing like a legacy wolf, or like one that is from a litter that you made, it feels like you have a lower chance of finding like a good diversity mate, whereas when you're like a brand new to the world wolf, you tend to encounter higher quality mates. So that could also just be working against us if that exists. And River is knocking over my microphone. Thank you, girl. That's staying in. When will you learn not to touch things that aren't yours? Spiteful, spiteful kitty cat. Very, very bold indeed. And with home on the horizon, I think we'll be a little bit more outgoing now. Oh, that was so cute. It was in sync. That being said, our affinity is still kind of trash. Because to be blunt, I think we need affinity more than we need food or sleep now. He is always so intent on whatever's just over the horizon there. So, I mean, I guess we can always play that off as, you know, he's worried about being caught over here with us. I guess some of the submissive stuff that he's been portraying to could also just genuinely be he does not necessarily want to be over here doing this. And yet here we are. Excuse you, mans. This is my hunting grounds. You'd best clear off. Sir, can you put down your rabbit and help? Okay, I think he at least put down the rabbit, but He does not want to attack these ladies for us. I think they definitely know that we're weak, but whether or not they're actually going to flee is another matter. I feel like our affinity went down after that. I do not think he wanted to do that. Well, I was chasing this doe just for giggles, but I wasn't expecting to actually catch on to her. I think the bridge does just genuinely mess with the AI a little bit, so they don't really know what to do with themselves. Affinity's looking a lot better after a pretty extensive play session, but he's still not really wanting to accept us as mate yet. Which, it could genuinely just be that low-star mates have a higher... Oh, there we go. Low-star mates could also just genuinely have a harder time trying to connect. But yes, we will accept him. And we'll keep his name as such. We'll move straight into establishing a territory. Excuse the hiccup. And I do think we're going to go ahead and leave off that episode there. I've been recording for an hour and a half, which is a little bit longer than I thought I'd go. Never mind to only get to here. And I really hope my game did not crash. But while I'm apparently stuck on this screen, feel free to check out links in the description below. There is a link to the Discord down there, so if you want to get sneak peeks for the next big project like this one, or if you just want to hang out, you can. And I'm also streaming over on Twitch, so you can find me over there as well. Thank you as always to Parental Units for supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated, of course. But I'm gonna cut away real quick just to make sure we're good, and then we'll finish off outros. Okay, luckily it does not look like it set us too far back, so all is good, and I'll get us back to where we were before next time anyway. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, stay safe, stay happy, and bye! What are you doing, sir?